Good morning, it's Raul Colon from Laugh and Gear. I'm here in San Juan and it's about 6:05 a.m. in the morning. I'm going for my morning walk. And the main reason I'm doing this morning walk and I'm filming it is because I wanted to show you guys around my neighborhood. So mainly, I'm a Disney fanatic. I'm also a travel advisor focusing on Disney, Royal Caribbean, Disney Cruise Line, Disney Parks, Universal, and some other cruises like Norwegian and Virgin. The main reason I'm doing this video today is because I'm going to be walking around and showing you around the neighborhood. Like right here, this is the Condado Lagoon. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. It's just before sunrise. And as you can see the Hilton Garden Inn in the distance. Behind that's the Condado Plaza. And towards your left, you're going to see the Caribe Hilton. And right there is El Puente dos Hermanos. We just had an event of Formula F1 sponsored by Adidas, Mercedes, and some Benito, Bad Bunny. So what I'm trying to do here is show you a few things you can do without having to even go inside. If you're somebody that just want to enjoy the outdoors, have a little walk, just have coffee. There's many things you can do here where it's a sort of like an urban environment, but very close to nature. So the lagoon that's towards my left that I just focused on, it's the Condado Lagoon. It's a natural reserve. If you're walking around and you pay attention, you might see anything from manatees, stingrays, spotted eagle rays, which are my favorite animal, and a series of other fish and wildlife, such as blowfish. So towards my right, and as you can see, I'm walking right next to the Condado Lagoon. If you're near the Condado Lagoon, this is a nice walk here, and it's right next to the Valdoriotti avenue. This avenue mainly is where you're gonna go in and out towards the airport, towards the port. If you're getting on a Disney Cruise Line ship, which they're gonna be sailing in October now, the port is about, I would say, a 4 or 5 minute drive from here, maybe a 20-minute walk. So having said that, the Condado Lagoon brings you a lot of opportunities to just enjoy nature, just to enjoy the water, and mainly see wildlife in their environment. The Condado Lagoon is a reserve, and it just gives you a chance just to walk around and see some cool things that we see as locals, and I wanted you guys to know. Another cool fact about walking this little walkway is that you have areas where you can exercise. They might need a little bit of upkeep, but at least you can get some pull-ups up. That's one place when I walk by it, at least when I get back, I'll make sure I'll get some pull-ups or chin-ups just to get some movement outside of my walking. Later I'll go to the gym. And the other thing is, I think if you do a loop around here, it should be about like a mile. So if you're a runner and you want a safe place to run, this is probably the best option you have. Running over here in this route, coming back, and running all the way down to Jaime Benitez Park. So having said that, there's many chances here for you to exercise, walk, and just enjoy your day. As I'm approaching El Puente dos Hermanos, you're gonna see an area here where if you go left, you're gonna be able to go to Miramar. Miramar is probably one of the best options if you're looking for food and you want to stay away from the tourist traps, right? So if you walk that way, under the bridge, you're gonna go into the Miramar area. That's my neighborhood, that's where I live. And if you go right, you're gonna walk into Condado. Another cool thing walking around here, there's a small beach here that if you just want to enjoy the water and you want to be in a calm area, that's probably one of your best options. The water here on the north, especially when it's either there's a storm or it's in the colder months, it's probably not the best if you want to just enjoy a relaxing swim in the water. Most people, they swim here inside of the lagoon, as I mentioned before. Here, it's very probable in the morning. Sometimes I'll see and I'll look over and I'll see starfish, I'll see stingrays, I'll see spotted eagle rays. And the main thing I see here is manatees, baby manatees. There's a good amount of manatees here in the area. There's a lot of people who do paddleboarding. This area is protected, so you're only gonna see non-motor vessels like kayaks and just paddle boards, and it's an area where most locals enjoy. So here I'm walking on the Dos Hermanos bridge, El Puente Dos Hermanos. And like I mentioned, I have another video where about 2 weeks ago we had a Formula One event sponsored by Adidas and Bad Bunny and Mercedes. So yeah, usually you look over. If the water's clear, the water's not that clear today. You'll see starfish and you'll see different types of wildlife. So if you've never seen a starfish, you've never seen a stingray in the wild, you've never seen a spotted eagle ray or a manatee, this is a good area that if you stay here for a little bit, eventually you're gonna see something. And as I mentioned, if you're coming in through, if you're staying at the Garden Hilton Inn and the Condado Plaza, which you can see at a distance, and you walk this way, that's a route where you can just walk and get to see some cool things. Things that you can see quickly here, obviously there's another part of the lagoon. I usually see manatees, as I mentioned here also. Then just at walking distance, you're gonna have few options. And some of those options are gonna be, for example, that's El Fortín de San Jerónimo. It's part of San Juan's systems when the Spaniards colonized Puerto Rico, where they were able to just secure the city. And that was one of the main forts that they used. You can walk up to it. I think there's some hours where some guides will give you some history and stuff like that. Right next to it is Caribe Hilton. And we're gonna be walking through it. This is called Paseo Caribe. And as you can see, the sun is rising over there behind the Condado Plaza. What a view. So mainly, if you're walking in this area, you're gonna run into a lot of locals, a lot of people who are just enjoying walking, exercising, doing a few things, or just some people are just going to work. But mostly it's an area where people just and exercise and get some movement early in the morning, in the afternoons, or even during the day. I don't know how they do it during the day because it's so warm here and so hot usually, but hey, some people make it happen. Yeah, look at that view. It's pretty amazing. So this area here is also a protected area. You're not supposed to be fishing. There's signs everywhere. I think they've been doing a better job lately, making sure we protect some of that wildlife and some of that nature that is not supposed to be, it's supposed to be left alone so they can grow and they can have their safe areas to just be. Here is the area of Paseo Caribe. Paseo Caribe before had a lot of areas to eat. You're gonna find a few restaurants. I've not been to any of these restaurants because I guess I live close by and I try to support more local. But here are some options if you're staying in the area, right? These are not restaurants I necessarily recommend because I've never eaten in them, even though I live close to them. But some of them are pretty, I think Fogo de Chao is a chain in Costa Bahia too. And then if you're staying at the Costa Bahia Hotel, it's a hotel I've never stayed in, but it's right there. That's another option you have that's very close to the port. It should be about a, say, 6 or 7 minute ride, maybe less, to the port if you're leaving out of a Pan American port and you're leaving on Disney Cruise Line. So here's another option. It's called George Music Lounge. I'm not sure the hours there. I used to visit this place a lot. We used to have a client right here. If you see there's sort of production here, is because there's a TV station here also, a local TV station. So if you're a fan of Menudo, there's actually one of the ex-Menudo stars that is one of the hosts of the morning show here. So if you know who Menudo is, when you're walking around, you might be able to just say hi to some local celebrities and stuff as you walk here. And then you have Cruda. Marcela used to be at another area, but that's a restaurant. That's a local restaurant also. So you have two other food options. I've heard Marcela's good. I've also not eaten there. Maybe I need to make a stop. I guess mainly as a vegetarian, for many years as a vegan. Oh, there's a taco design company called El Taller Tacos de Diseño. So there's a taco place there. It looks pretty interesting. I didn't know. That's kind of new. And then if you're walking in this area, you're very close to the Caribe Hilton. So we're going to be approaching now the Caribe Hilton in a second. I'm going to film that and I'm going to show you where the entrance is and how easy it is for you to just walk over here to this area if you're looking for food options. This used to be one of my favorite places to eat, but then they had a whole food court and they closed it down to set up, I think, a pharmaceutical. So having said that, if you look this way, you're gonna see a little walkway, and that walkway is gonna get you to El Caribe Hilton. So if you're leaving the Caribe Hilton walking, you're gonna be on this sidewalk. There's still some ruins, there's some cool things to see. In the background there, you're gonna see the old Normandy Hotel. That hotel was, it went bankrupt. It got remodeled. It went bankrupt again. I don't know how many times it went bankrupt, but it's not very effective in the area it's at. So they're trying to remodel it again. You can go into the details. If you want to know what's going on there, you can go to Escambrón Unido, which is a group of activists who are trying to make sure that they can remodel the hotel, but they also protect nature, and they also make sure that we still have access to our own natural resources. So having said that, like I said, this is the Caribe Hilton. Fun fact about the Caribe Hilton, this is the first Caribe Hilton outside of the US, outside of the contiguous 48 states. And being that it's the first one, there's a cool story around it. The main building was this one right here, and then this was newer. I had the privilege on one occasion to stay in the presidential tower because I got upgraded. And it was a pretty impressive, probably one of the most impressive rooms I've stayed in. I personally don't recommend the Caribe Hilton because people who stay there, and I've stayed there, I don't feel the service is up to par as it should be, especially for the price. But they do have a lot of rooms, and they pretty much set the standard when it comes to room rates here in San Juan mainly. So most hotels will use the Caribe Hilton as an option to set their rates. How do I know this? For many years, I worked as a consultant for other boutique hotels and other hotels. So I'm pretty aware of that. So as I said, if you're walking out here, you're gonna see the famous Caribe Hilton sign. And let me get back to that Caribe Hilton story. So that famous Caribe Hilton story. The Caribe Hilton was built by the Hilton brand, which at that time the founder, Conrad Hilton, I believe was still alive. And when the Puerto Rico government decided they wanted a famous hotel chain to establish themselves, they put out a request for proposal. And that request for proposal was in Spanish. Also, most politicians, they dominated Spanish, even though most of them were bilingual and they knew many languages, not just English. But when Conrad Hilton saw the request for proposal and other brands like Marriott and stuff like that, the only one that sent the proposal back in Spanish was Conrad Hilton. Why did Conrad do that? Conrad grew up in New Mexico. And in New Mexico, I believe he grew up around Mexican and other immigrants who spoke Spanish. So apparently he was fluent in Spanish, or he was good enough to be able to create a proposal and send it. Given that he was the only one that sent the proposal in Spanish, he won the proposal. And that's how the first Hilton was built outside of the US. And the second Hilton, I think, was the Havana Hilton. And the Havana Hilton stopped existing after the Cuban Revolution. Here I am coming into Escambrón Park. We have a famous boxer here, immortalized in a statue. His name is Sixto. I'm gonna put some more information on Sixto. And behind him is a Pabellón de la Fama de Puerto Riqueño. It's kind of like a hall of fame for local celebrities. I didn't know how famous Sixto was. I knew he was popular for us, but I think there's a video or a video of a famous sportscaster. I don't know if it's Jim Acosta and stuff like that, in front of that statue, honoring him and mentioning how famous and how popular he was in his days. So that's something that honors Sixto. And that's a pretty cool story to know that in those times where it was not so easy to move around, we have a famous boxer who influenced boxing overall. And we all know that if you're Puerto Rican, or if you love boxing, you know how boxing is connected to the island, where we've had famous boxers as Tito Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, Hector Macho Camacho, and many more. As we walk in here, as we get into Escambrón, the Escambrón area, we come into one of my favorite areas when it's the morning, and I've come a little bit earlier. I get to watch the sunrise from here. But also, if you're looking for scuba opportunities or looking for anything to do in the water, there's an option here. It's called Scuba Dogs. They have different offers here. It depends. I'm not gonna film the offer because at the time when you see it, they do tours every day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And obviously the sign there says no cash. So if you have a credit card, you should be fine. This area is being remodeled right now. That's where I usually walk to. And having said that, we're gonna take a little walk over here, walk back. The the grass is very wet, and I'm wearing my old Vibram shoes, so I don't want to get my feet wet so early in my walk. So yeah, so here's one of my favorite parts of the walk. It's an amazing view. You can't beat this. And normally in the mornings when I have some time, I'll come. If I get up really early, I'll come and watch the sun rise here. Maybe one day I'll film like a time lapse coming out of the sun coming out of here. Today was pretty sunny, so it was not easy to see the sun. So I'm gonna take a little detour here. Usually I just walk straight through here, but here I think they're finally picking up the sargassum. Just this past weekend, we had a group of volunteers that decided to come in. If you're here, you can smell it. It's very pungent smell. Sargassum is algae that's just been sitting around, and it ferments, and it makes it really hard for people to swim. It also makes it hard for some wildlife. It's kind of like what I've read. It's kind of like an issue that is tied to global warming. So having said that, I guess they're finally cleaning some of the sargassum. I know volunteers this weekend came and cleaned it up. There's a big stack over there. I'm gonna take a shortcut because I walked by yesterday and it was so difficult to breathe and smell in that area that I think I'm gonna skip my normal route. But yeah, as you can see, I guess they have the sargassum all built up there. Oof, I'm not even that close, and it smells pretty intense. So I guess they closed out that walk area. My main concern is what's going on here, but that's a topic for another day of how they're impacting this area by just moving heavy equipment around, where Mother Nature is. Oof. The smell of the sargassum is something that I'm just gonna walk by. I'm not even gonna talk. Okay, I'm at a safe distance from the sargassum. It's intense. The smell is crazy. So this is another area that I enjoy for my morning walk because I get to see a little bit more of the North Coast, especially the coast in between San Juan and Carolina all the way to Loiza. If you're looking here, you're gonna see the Caribe Hilton on the right there. You're gonna see the Normandy, and then I just pan towards the left. You're gonna start seeing the Condado Plaza, and you're gonna see the rest of Condado, which includes the Vanderbilt Hotel, La Concha, I think the Condado Social Hotel, or I'm not, the name's changed so many times that I'm not aware of what it's called right now. And then after that, you're gonna see the San Juan Marriott, which is one of the options I recommend. If you're gonna book in San Juan, the San Juan Marriott is the safest way, and it has a lot of cool things. And then as you can see, this is a lagoon. This is also a protected lagoon. So I know friends who in the mornings, they come here and they just swim. There's sea turtles and there's other types of wildlife in here that you can enjoy. And of course, as I always say, if you're gonna enjoy wildlife, make sure you leave them alone and just observe from afar. This little murals here. These are kind of like murals. I don't know, it's kind of cute, but having said that, the water today is not as calm, or it's usually about this way. But as I said in the far, you're gonna go from right to left. You're going from the Caribe Hilton all the way over to Loiza, Piñones at the end. If you wanna have some real Puerto Rican food and you wanna move away from the tourist traps, just tell your cab driver to take you to Piñones, and you'll have some really good options at a really good price. It's an area that's nice, beautiful, but then that's where the locals go and hang out and eat, right? There's a lot more tourism now, but if you want to have a good time and you just want to not be in a tourist trap, that's probably your option. So this is the view. And then if I swing around, I'm gonna walk towards my other favorite area. And then again, as you see, when you're walking in these areas, what's cool is you're gonna see some of the ruins of what used to be the walls, las murallas de San Juan. And the murallas were a system to protect San Juan from other invaders and colonizers. The Spaniards built it up, and I think the system took over 400 years to set up. That's when you walk around, you're gonna see different designs and different elements, because they were made in completely different times, but they were all part of the security infrastructure that Spain was setting up, so they could protect the island and keep a hold of the island until 1898, when finally they lost the Spanish-American War and they handed Puerto Rico over, and we were invaded by the US. So here's some of the ruins. This area here is great for photo spots. So if you want to take a photo, or you just want to, you want to take a good selfie, these areas are perfect. Usually they're not as crowded as other areas. And that's where a lot of photographers come and take photos of their clients. I've taken photos of friends as a photographer in different areas here. And there's some really cool spots where you can just walk around at walking distance and get that done. One of the coolest things of my morning walks is running into friends. One is a friend I met about 2.5 years ago, and every morning I get to say hi to him and his four-legged kids. So Juan, if you're in this area, what are the cool things you can do where you can connect with nature and also just enjoy, our surroundings?
Well, if you're an early riser, this whole point here is spectacular for sunrises. People climb up there on top of the ramparts of the castle and catch the sunrise. Some people come over and do yoga and do their exercises over there at the point where the breakwater is. And then, of course, on the other side here of the wall is the Normandy side of the El Escambrón beach, which right now is full of sargasso, and they're in a cleanup operation, but they can't clean up the stench, at least not for now. So it smells terrible. But once they've cleaned it up, this is a great place to swim and run into turtles. It's a very protected area, and there's 3 turtles, different size, that I run into on a daily basis swimming with my dog. And then on the other side of the public beach, at the very end where there's rocks, it's a great little place for fish. There's all kinds of fish. If you have little kids, they go there, they love it. Bring some breadcrumbs or something, and you'll be surrounded by fish. The kids love it. And if you just want to swim around, there's the occasional barracuda, octopus, and other reef fish. It's a great little beach.
One of the cool things, if I don't make my morning walk, Juan makes sure to send me a video of the turtles and stuff. So maybe I'll include one of the old videos that Juan shared here on the video. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you.
So wow. I've been living here for 2.5 years and I've never seen a manatee in the lagoon back there. I took some video. There was a manatee and its mom. I'm used to seeing the manatees, baby manatees and their moms, but never seen it inside of this lagoon. I think the sargassum and Mother Nature gave us a gift, because the fact that the sargassum that I showed earlier is there makes it a good reason why people are not swimming there, which probably makes it more comfortable for the manatee to be swimming around. So I took some video. I'm gonna include it here. Many of the locals, including one who just gave us some tips on what to do and what happens here daily, were pretty surprised. So Mother Nature just gave us a gift. I was able to film some of it, and I'm gonna put that video in right here. And other things that, if you're walking around this area, and you like hermit crabs, this is an area that has a lot of hermit crabs. You look closely, you're gonna see a little hermit crab right there, and they're moving around. So if you look into these crevices, I think this is an area for the baby hermit crabs to grow and to protect themselves and to enjoy themselves. So having said that, it's 7 a.m. so I've been walking for an hour now. But I took some time to talk with a friend who I had not seen in weeks or months. And when you walk from here, when you walk from this wall right here, protected wall over towards the west, you're gonna walk towards Escambrón beach. One of the cool things about being in this area is that you have so many things you can do, from enjoying a view like this, to swimming in the ocean, to getting to see manatees just playing around and enjoying themselves, to just sitting down and catching some sun rays in the sun. This is an area here that is used by photographers. There's a lot of cubbies and a lot of cool areas where you can take some really cool spots, really cool shots. And the cool thing about it is that this is an area that you can actually enjoy just by exercising. You see people come do yoga here. You see people who are photographers taking photos of their clients. You see people just come and relax and take a breather and just enjoy nature. The cool thing is there's like a little coffee place, which I'm gonna show you more towards the end of the walk, where you can just grab coffee. I'm gonna be going in a circle right now, so to show you a little bit more of Escambrón and some of the cool things that us locals enjoy. So then the cool thing is there's little spots like this one where you can just walk in and just enjoy the ocean and have a little bit of privacy if you're going to be meditating. Obviously, there's friends like these crabs that will hang around and watch you do yoga. And then you can see the cruise ship. If let's say it's a morning and you're sailing on a cruise ship, this is the chance here you have to watch it come in. Because usually when you board, it's a lot later in the morning or in the afternoon. So if you're boarding on a cruise ship and you're in this area, let's say you're boarding the Disney Magic like me, that morning you want to go see and take photos of the Disney Magic coming in, which I might do on that day, or maybe the weeks before it comes in, then you can come here and watch the cruise ship walk in. If you're in San Juan, there's some other cool spots to watch a cruise ship come in, which you're going to see it closer. But here you have more of a nature view. And I mean, it's a different view. Oh my God, I can still smell the sargassum all the way over here. Oh, and Mother Nature gave us another gift. It's a rainbow. I don't know if you guys can see a rainbow, but. So yeah, so there's a lot of things happening here. There's most people who come here, they enjoy the beach, they protect nature, they take care of it. But every once in a while, you're gonna see these such scenarios where you have people either doing engagement or proposal and they forget to clean up after themselves. Don't be that person. I don't even know why I said that, because the people listening to this, I'm sure you guys don't do this, but yeah, having said that, it's just an area just to relax and watch and enjoy nature without having to go too far. As I said, we have a beautiful, beautiful rainbow here. And you know what? Since there's a rainbow, I might take a quick stop and just take a cool photo of it. So I did a little bit video on my Insta360 showing what most of you will see if you're coming around. This is Escambrón Beach. It has facilities, it has bathrooms, they open at a certain time. They have a lot of shade, so if you're coming in, this is an area the locals visit. At the distance, if you keep on going, you're gonna see surfers. This is called La Ocho. If you're into surfing, this is where local surfers surf. Always be mindful of the local surfers because it's their area, and they're more than hospitable to, have you join them. But if you're into surfing, there's some basic rules you need to follow when you visit a place. And then the other thing is, at a distance, you're gonna see Old San Juan. You're gonna see El Morro at a very far distance, El Capitolio, and San Cristobal. Part of the four systems that the Spaniards left by. And up there, as I'm going to walk over there, you're going to see an area where you can just enjoy the surfers watch. Like I said, if you're standing here, you're going to be able to see ships come in and out, mostly cruise ships, mostly cargo ships. And this is an area you can just relax in the morning and just enjoy nature, watch surfers, and see a little bit more of San Juan. So this is a very walkable area. Some of the parts I walked, if you have some accessibility issues or it's hard for you to walk, you might want to skip them. But here, if you're in a wheelchair, if you have some accessibility issues, this area here might be a little bit easier to walk because it's paved and it's pretty well kept. So as I walk up here, and I mentioned earlier of La Ocho, which is where a lot of local surfers surf, there's an area where you can just stand there and watch them. There's also a shower that works most of the time. And when it works, you got to thank the locals because they're the ones keeping it up and maintaining it and doing the repairs when it gets broken. So, having said that, we're just going to walk over and see what else is going on here and get to enjoy a little bit more of this area here in Escambrón. I'm probably going to go walk over to Muñoz Rivera Park. One cool fact about Muñoz Rivera Park, my first visit to Chicago, I'm like, wow, this looks familiar. It feels like somewhere I've been before. It was my first time in Chicago. When I did a little bit more research, I realized that it looked so familiar because as a kid, they used to bring me to Muñoz Rivera Park, and even as an adult, I used to visit it. That's where I learned photography. And when I did that, obviously, so Muñoz Rivera Park was actually built by some architect that built some of the parks in Chicago. One of them being one that's close to Water Tower Place. That's the place in Chicago. And we were walking around those, and some of the areas look pretty similar. And it was literally built by some architect. So that's kind of cool. And the other thing I mentioned earlier was that this is an area you can get coffee at. As I said, at the distance there, if you want to get a coffee, this is the place to get it. You can grab your coffee, go over to the beach, enjoy the sunrise, or enjoy just the views of nature. Yep. Right behind me there in the corner, next to Escambrón Park. In the corner of Muñoz Rivera Park, where you can cross over to Escambrón Beach, there's a little coffee shop. I've seen it evolve. If you're a photographer, here is a perfect place to play with shadows and different settings. This is the area where I learned. I took my first official photography classes. And so I'm connected to it because as a kid, I used to come here. And then as an adult, I took photography classes and my photography improved greatly just by using this park to do different things, from panning into vehicles, which you can see on the left, to doing other stuff. So this is an area that mainly locals use. It's an area if you want to relax, you can just come here. If you want to take photos, there's a lot of cool photo spots, as you can see. But then if you have kids, this is one of my favorite areas, and this is one of my daughter's favorite areas when she walks with me in the morning because she has the playground to herself. But yeah, there's a playground for kids that's been here since I was a kid, and I'm 45. I have pictures in some of these slides. Some of them are very old school, which they're made out of cement. Some of the other ones are safer. And yeah, it's an area where if you just want to bring the kids just to play, ride a bike, ride a scooter, or just run and enjoy a little bit of shade in this heat, then this place is perfect for that. It's funny, it's one of the locals that used to see me with my daughter. He just asked me for her. Here is a flamboyant tree. Flamboyant is a pretty cool tree. When it flourishes, it turns a little bit orange, kind of like flaming June. look up Flaming June, and it's a pretty cool piece of art that's here in Puerto Rico in the Ponce Museum of Art. It's usually there. Sometimes it's loaned to other big museums. But yeah, that's one of my favorite trees. We actually have one in front of the apartment, and it's really cool because it brings a lot of nature around us. So having said that, here we go back. We're getting closer to the kids area, and this is an area where like you can just bring the kids and they can just enjoy themselves. They can play in the playground and maybe meet another kid or two. So apparently there's a lot of rules here that you can't have dogs and stuff like that, but I've never seen anybody been told anything about not having a dog. But having said that, here's a pretty cool area for kids to enjoy. And the other area that I'm going to walk to is the bridge. And I love walking over that bridge in the mornings. I took a different route today because I wanted to show you guys the beach. But normally I'll cross over the bridge and I'll cross over to this area. And having said that, it's hot. You can see I'm sweating. You probably hear my breathing is a little bit heavier. I still need to continue getting in shape, and I need to get back home because I have to go to the gym also. Here's another cool spot to take photos. Again, different backgrounds, different setting, a little bit more, I don't know, a mix of urban and tropical, if you can say. This is one area that I like walking over. Buen dia. And yeah, and that's another thing. If you're walking around, make sure you say buen dia, good morning. If you see people eating and they say buen provecho, it's just part of our culture. We greet each other, part of the island vibes, and the reason why I love living here. So I'm gonna be walking down here, and here is the park, and this used to be Sixto Park. It's closed right now for renovations. There's a lot of events that were done in this area. And as I walk down the steps, and I'm a little bit out of breath, and I'm sorry, but it's just super hot. I wonder what, hey Siri, what's the temperature like? It's 81 degrees, but the humidity is pretty intense. So if you're visiting the island, no matter what time of year, it's gonna be about this temperature. Maybe a little bit cooler if you're in the winter months, even though we don't have winter here. So as I approach this area here, this was an area dedicated to the LGBTQIA plus community. I believe it was built after the Pulse incident. We had Puerto Ricans who were affected in Orlando and were victims of the Pulse massacre. And like I say, as an ally of the LGBTQIA community and somebody who's an advocate for human rights, especially their rights and trans rights, I wish we could see more of this. Not because it shouldn't be normal, because we need to bring attention to the needs that these marginalized communities have. So even though I'm a business owner, I also want to make sure that the community is taken care of. So this is a memorial that was built after Pulse, and I'll tell you the exact date. It was built by the municipality of San Juan on 26th of June of 2016. I believe the Pulse happened a year before, or in 2016. We'll double check that. I'll put it in the text. But yeah, so if you're part of the community, an ally like me, I consider myself part of the community too. You can come and take a photo here and or just be more respectful and just remember the victims of Pulse and make sure that we keep on sharing the importance of inclusivity, love, and peace, hopefully. But more importantly, inclusivity and love. So having said that, we're going to be walking back. And when I'm walking back right now, we're doing a full circle here, right? So here in the front, we have Muñoz Rivera Park. And then if you keep on walking this distance, you're going to be able to see, you're going to be walking towards the Caribe Hilton, Condado Plaza, La Concha. You're walking east side, right? So I'm just going to stop the video here because it's a pretty long walk. And I don't like filming other people that are out. I try not to do as much. But yeah, if you walk down this way, you'll be able to get back to the Caribe Hilton. So as you can see, we did a full circle here. We started here in front of the Sixto Escobar statue, and we're going to be walking over here to where the Caribe Hilton is over there. So in case you're doing that, taking this route, you know how to get back to your hotels. One of the cool things that you can see here is many options to eat, many options to do little things, but more importantly, finding local places, right? As I walk right in front of the Normandy Hotel and past El Caribe Hilton over here, we're gonna see a coffee shop called 77 Coffee, which actually serves Puerto Rican coffee. So if you're in this area, that little coffee shop I showed you earlier, right next to Muñoz Rivera Park, and this coffee shop over here, you're supporting local businesses. When I travel, I try to support local. These big chains like Hilton and stuff, they have enough. But these small businesses, you can make a big difference when it comes to just supporting them and making sure they continue to provide services and making sure they keep on providing, whatever products they're putting out. So as I mentioned, there's 77 Coffee. It's a local coffee shop. And as we walk towards it, we're gonna see, this used to be a hotel. Well, this used to be Marcela, a restaurant. And this used to be a hotel. I think this is owned by the Normandy. And then I think that's an Airbnb. I've not heard very good reviews of it, so I can't recommend it. I won't even mention it. And then here you have 77 Coffee. So you're trying to get a coffee, it's also pet friendly. Or a coquito latte. If you know what coquito is, you know. But coquito is a very traditional drink that Puerto Ricans make during Christmas time. You can drink it any time of the year. And it's coconut based. It's one of the most delicious things you probably ever tasted. So I'm walking back this way. There's not much to capture. There's a lot of noise in this area. So I'm gonna cut the video here. But I'll join you on the other side when I'm near Puente dos Hermanos so I can show you a few other cool things. As I walk over to El Puente dos Hermanos, well, usually when I'm in this area, I try to look for, that's the airport right there. So as I was saying earlier in the video, if you're leaving out of the Pan American port on Disney Cruise Line, it's gonna be somewhere where you see Caribbean cinemas around here. Behind there, that's where the ship is gonna dock. It's not in the old San Juan port. I did a whole blog post on where to embark, what to do if you're getting on Disney Cruise Line in San Juan. But outside of that, usually I stop here to watch and look for manatees. Thankfully, I was able to see the manatees earlier, and I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Main thing I wanted to say right now is, as I walk back, this is an area where you, like I've mentioned earlier, if you want to go running or walking, it's a good distance. You can do like a mile and a half or a mile. And you can also get to enjoy Mother Nature. And when the water is a little bit more clear, you're able to see starfish and other sea animals. I spoke to Juan earlier, and he mentioned that he also gets to see octopus. I've never seen an octopus in the wild, so maybe that's something I need to get my snorkel gear ready and try it out. So before I end the video, main thing I want to talk about is what I'm doing right now. What's my main job? I own a digital marketing company. Mainly we do web development and SEO work. We're also doing stuff with AI and what's called large language models, which have to do with how all these systems are connected and how they're communicating and how you possibly can get more clients. Having said that, for the last 6 months, we've been working on this project, Laughing Gear, which is the channel you're on. And the way I earn a living is making commissions out of being a travel agent. So if you're in the San Juan area or you're coming to San Juan and you want an agent that knows the area, knows what's good, knows what is not, I will prepare very specific itineraries based on the experiences and the people I know and what locals do, different to what other people do, right? Which they're just sending you to a location not knowing the area. So if you're interested in that, or if you're doing a Disney vacation, Universal, you want to take a cruise on Disney, Norwegian, Princess, Virgin, Royal Caribbean, let me know because I can book those for you. And that's a way where I can continue creating content. I can support other creators. I can support other local businesses and also do a little bit more travel videos. So having said that, if you're interested in going on vacation, just click the link below and just contact me. It's not going to cost you anything additional if you book with me. However, if you're using a travel agent or you want to book it yourself, I have some other plans which are like these VIP support services that are when you don't book with me, but you still need that knowledge and that feedback to maximize your vacation. So feel free to ask me about those. I'm working on those. I've already done a few in Disneyland, which we visit at least 2 to 3 times a year. I'm working on the Disney World ones, which were there usually 50, 60 days a year, and also maybe some for Disney Cruise Line when it comes to some of the ports that we frequently visit, right? So if you're interested, just let me know. And more importantly, if you're not, you still have a chance to win something and at least be notified when we bring videos up and when we create content that might be useful. And that would be laughinggear.com/giveaway. I'm going to put the link there. If you go on the website, you'll also run into it and you'll be able to see it. So having said that, yeah, that's pretty much the ending of my walk. And I'm just going to keep on walking since there's other people here. I don't want to keep on recording. So I hope you have an awesome day. Hasta la próxima aventura. So as I finish this video, I want to make sure that the videos I'm creating are useful to you. So if you want to see more videos of tips and things to do in San Juan that are not tourist traps, that are not things that will cost you a lot of money and not worth it, let me know. Leave me in the comments. Let me know what would you like, what kind of content you would like to see. I'm fairly new at making video. I've been a photographer for many years. I've been a content creator for many years, and I've always stayed away from video. But here I'm trying it. So any support you can send me or any advice or any tips is more than welcome. I welcome any type of feedback. If it's very harsh, just do it privately. No, I'm just kidding. You can go ahead and put it in the comments as long as it's respectful. So having said that, like if you can subscribe, like this video, or turn on the notifications bell. More importantly, like I said, if you want to join our giveaway, which will give you a chance to win a lounge flight. We have a Little Mermaid lounge flight, but usually every month we have a different giveaway. Just sign up for the giveaway. If the giveaway is not running, we'll notify you on the next if you sign up. And then, yeah, just let me know. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what else you want me to see. And as I finish this video, I hope you have an awesome day and evening. And I hope to see you again. Hasta la próxima aventura.